Ladies, listen to me carefully. If you're over 60, and especially if you're over 70, there's a silent danger creeping up on us that nobody wants to talk about. It's not heart disease, it's not diabetes, and it's not even arthritis. It's losing your balance. Doctors and physical therapists are warning that 99% of older women experience dangerous balance issues because of 6 completely avoidable daily habits. And I'm here to tell you exactly what these 6 mistakes are so you can fix them starting today. But don't worry, every single one of them is within your control. Stick with me to the end because mistake number 6 is one I didn't even know I was making until I ended up flat on my kitchen floor at 2 in the morning. Like this video if you've ever had a close call with falling. Subscribe to EverWise Older Women for more life-saving tips just like this. And in the comments, tell me honestly, have you ever had a moment where you thought you might fall? You're not alone in this. Let's jump right in. Mistake number 1 is wearing the wrong shoes, and I cannot stress this enough. What you put on your feet matters more than you could possibly realize. You might think your shoes are just fine, especially if they've been serving you well for years. But here's what most women our age don't understand. Our bodies change dramatically after 60. The arches in our feet start to flatten. The fat pads that used to cushion every step begin to wear down. And suddenly those shoes that once felt perfect become little traps just waiting to trip us up. I'll admit it, for years I wore those cute little ballet flats everywhere I went. I thought they were feminine, comfortable, and easy to slip on and off. What I didn't realize was that they were offering me absolutely no support whatsoever. I'd find myself wobbling on uneven pavement, catching my toe on rug corners, and feeling unsteady every time I walked on anything other than perfectly flat ground. One afternoon, I was walking to my mailbox in those flats when I stepped on a small stone. My ankle rolled slightly, I lost my balance, and I nearly went face-first into my neighbor's rose bush. Only grabbing onto their fence saved me from what could have been a disaster. That was my wake-up call. Here's what I learned from that terrifying experience. The best shoes for women our age are ones with solid, supportive soles, excellent grip on the bottom, and some structure around the ankle area. Now that doesn't mean they have to look ugly or orthopedic like the clunky shoes our mothers used to wear. There are so many stylish options available now that give you both beauty and safety. I found a pair with memory foam insoles and a supportive heel cup that completely changed how I walk. I feel grounded, secure, and confident with every step I take. I know there's a temptation to shuffle around the house in those comfortable slippers all day, but if they don't have non-slip soles and proper arch support, you're actually increasing your fall risk with every step. At our age, a fall isn't just a bruise that heals in a few days. It can be a life-changing event that takes away everything we've worked so hard to maintain. A broken hip can lead to loss of independence faster than almost anything else. Think of your shoes as the foundation of your entire body. If that foundation is weak and unreliable, everything above it is at risk. But with the right pair supporting you, you'll feel steadier, stand taller, and walk into every room with grace and confidence that radiates from the ground up. Mistake number 2 is skipping strength training, and this one hits close to home for so many of us. I used to think that lifting weights was something for young people at the gym, or at the very least for those fitness enthusiasts in their tight workout gear. I figured that since I walked around the house, did a bit of gardening, and stayed generally active, that was enough exercise for someone my age. What I didn't know, and what no one had ever told me, is that after we reach 50, we lose muscle mass every single year. It's a quiet, invisible process that you don't really notice until one day you try to get up from a low chair, and realize you need to push off with both hands to stand up. That moment of realization hit me like a brick wall. It wasn't just normal aging like I'd been telling myself. It was muscle loss. And the frightening part was how much strength I'd already lost without even noticing. But here's the wonderful news that changed everything for me. This muscle loss is completely reversible, even at our age. When I finally started doing just a little bit of strength training, the difference was absolutely remarkable. I didn't join an expensive gym, or buy heavy dumbbells that I could barely lift. I simply began using small hand weights while watching my favorite TV shows, and doing bodyweight exercises like modified squats and wall push-ups. Even a simple resistance band can work absolute wonders for rebuilding strength. The goal isn't to look like a bodybuilder or compete with women half our age. The goal is to keep your legs strong enough to support your body weight, your arms strong enough to catch yourself if you slip, and your core muscles firm enough to help you maintain balance when you're moving around. You see, the reason so many older women lose their balance isn't because they've suddenly become clumsy or uncoordinated. It's because their muscles simply aren't strong enough anymore to correct themselves when they take a wrong step or encounter an unexpected obstacle. You know that split second when you trip slightly and your body tries to catch itself? If your leg and hip muscles aren't strong enough, you're going down, and it's as simple and as scary as that. It doesn't take hours of exercise or complicated routines. Just 10 to 15 minutes 3 times a week can rebuild the muscle strength that keeps you steady and confident. I used to be genuinely afraid to walk on uneven ground or step off curbs. Now I take my dog around the entire neighborhood with my shoulders back and my head held high. That strength isn't just physical transformation. It's emotional confidence that changes how you feel about yourself and your capabilities every single day. Mistake number 3 is ignoring vision changes, and this one really surprised me because I had never connected vision problems to balance issues. But let me tell you, they are intimately linked in ways most of us never realize. As we age, our eyes go through subtle but significant changes. It's not just about needing reading glasses to see the newspaper clearly. Your depth perception starts to decline, your peripheral vision narrows, and your ability to judge contrast and see clearly in dim lighting all begin to fade gradually. The worst part about these changes is that they happen so slowly and gradually that you don't even notice them until they cause a real problem. I remember one night I woke up around 2 in the morning and needed to use the bathroom. I didn't want to turn on the bright lights because I was trying not to wake my husband, so I decided to tiptoe through the house in the dark like I'd done hundreds of times before. But my eyes couldn't adjust to the darkness as quickly as they used to, and I completely missed the edge of the bathroom rug. I went down hard on my knee, and let me tell you, I was icing that swollen, painful knee for more than a week afterward. That painful fall was the wake-up call that sent me straight to my optometrist the very next day. It turns out my prescription had changed significantly, but I hadn't updated my glasses in almost 4 years. I've been walking around with outdated lenses, thinking my vision was just fine. I got new glasses with an anti-glare coating that helps with night driving, and a special tint that improves contrast when I'm indoors. The difference in my vision was absolutely incredible. Suddenly I could see steps, curbs, shadows, and obstacles so much more clearly than I had in years. If your glasses are scratched, if your prescription is outdated, or if they're just not suited to your current vision needs, they become a genuine safety hazard every time you wear them. If your home is dimly lit in the evenings, your eyes are working overtime to process visual information, and that extra strain can cause disorientation, dizziness, and even vertigo. Your vision is your brain's primary way of understanding exactly where your body is positioned in space and how to move safely through your environment. Take your vision seriously by scheduling that overdue eye exam, cleaning your lenses properly every day, and installing a few extra lights in the darker areas of your home. Your eyes will thank you for the care, and your balance will improve dramatically. Mistake number 4 is not paying attention to medication side effects, and this one hit much closer to home than I care to admit to anyone. I had been prescribed a new medication for my blood pressure, something my doctor assured me would help with some dizziness I'd been experiencing occasionally. The ironic thing is that I actually started feeling much more dizzy and unsteady after I began taking this new prescription. I'd get up from the couch to answer the phone, and the entire room would tilt just slightly, like I'd had one too many glasses of wine with dinner. At first, I brushed off these dizzy spells completely. I told myself I was probably just tired from a busy day, or maybe I wasn't drinking enough water. But deep down in my gut, I knew something wasn't quite right with how I was feeling. One evening after dinner, I stood up too quickly from my chair and stumbled directly into the coffee table. I didn't actually fall, thank goodness, but it scared me enough to finally pay attention to what my body was trying to tell me. That night I finally took the time to flip over the medication bottle and read all the fine print on the label. Right there in black and white it said, "May cause dizziness, lightheadedness, or loss of balance." You see, we trust our doctors completely, and we absolutely should trust them, but that doesn't mean we should take medications blindly without listening carefully to how our bodies respond. As we get older, our systems process and metabolize medications very differently than they did when we were younger. A dosage that was perfectly appropriate and safe when you were 50 might be far too strong for your system when you're 70. And when you're taking multiple prescriptions like so many of us are, those side effects can interact with each other in unexpected ways and make everyday activities genuinely risky. I went back to my doctor immediately and explained everything I'd been experiencing in detail. He was very understanding and adjusted my dosage to a lower amount. Just like that, within a few days, the constant dizziness completely faded away. No more wobbly mornings, no more mystery stumbles, and no more feeling unsteady on my feet. So here's my strong advice to you. Pay very close attention to how every medication makes you feel, both physically and mentally. If you notice any lightheadedness, balance issues, or unusual sluggishness, write down exactly what you're experiencing and talk to your doctor immediately. Bring a complete list of every single pill you take, including all the over-the-counter medications and supplements. You are absolutely your own best health advocate, and don't let anyone make you feel like you're being overly sensitive about side effects. These little pills can have enormous effects on our balance and stability, and sometimes just a simple dosage adjustment can make all the difference in staying steady and safe. Mistake number 5 is holding on to furniture instead of using a cane or walker when you need support, and I used to be incredibly proud of how well I could get around without any assistance. I'd hold onto kitchen counters, grab chair backs, and even steady myself against door frames whenever I felt even slightly off balance. I called it wall walking, and I told myself I was being independent and strong. But the honest truth is that I was terrified of what using a cane might say about me. It felt like giving in, like admitting I was weak or old or somehow less capable than I wanted to be. There's something about taking that first step, both literally and emotionally, that feels like crossing a line you can never uncross. But I've completely changed how I think about mobility aids, and it happened because of one particular incident that could have been much worse. I was carrying a basket of clean laundry from the kitchen to the living room, with both hands completely full and no free hand to steady myself on anything. I tripped on absolutely nothing, just a momentary loss of balance, and nearly crashed into the glass-topped side table. If I had fallen into that table, I could have been seriously injured by broken glass. That was the day I finally faced the facts honestly. Grabbing onto furniture isn't a long-term solution for balance issues. It's not safe because furniture can move or tip. It's not reliable because it won't always be exactly where you need it, and it won't always be strong enough to support your full weight if you really need it. So I made the decision to get a beautiful walking cane. I chose one that was lightweight with a comfortable rubber grip and a lovely floral pattern that felt like it represented who I am. And you know what happened? The world didn't end. I wasn't embarrassed or self-conscious. In fact, I felt more secure and relaxed than I had in months. I started walking taller instead of constantly leaning on things or reaching out for support. The cane didn't take away my independence like I'd feared it would. It actually gave my independence back to me in a very real way. Using a cane or walker when you need one isn't a sign of weakness or failure. It's a sign of wisdom and good judgment. It means you're actively choosing safety, stability, and control over your own mobility. And believe me, people respect that kind of smart decision-making far more than they respect watching someone struggle or stumble around stubbornly. So if you find yourself grabbing onto furniture more often than you'd like to admit, it might be time to stop resisting help and start supporting yourself with something that's actually designed to do exactly that job safely and effectively. Mistake number 6 is avoiding balance exercises completely. And I didn't even know such a thing existed until I decided to try a local senior wellness class at our community center. I thought it would just be gentle stretching and maybe some very basic yoga poses for flexibility. But the instructor, who was an older woman herself, taught us these surprisingly challenging little movements. We practiced standing on one foot for 30 seconds, shifting our weight slowly from side to side, and walking heel to toe in a perfectly straight line like we were walking on a tightrope. Let me tell you, these exercises were much harder than they looked, and I was shocked at how unsteady I felt during that very first class. That experience made me realize I had been doing absolutely nothing to actively maintain and improve my balance. Balance is one of those physical skills that you think will always just be there naturally, like breathing or blinking, but the reality is very different. If you don't consciously use it and work on it regularly, you absolutely will lose it over time. After just a few weeks of doing these simple balance exercises for 5 to 10 minutes at a time, I could feel a dramatic difference in my stability and confidence. My ankles felt stronger and more flexible, my posture improved noticeably, and I stopped feeling like I needed to brace myself or hold on to something every time I got out of a chair or stepped off a curb. I even started dancing again in my kitchen while I was cooking dinner, something I hadn't felt confident enough to do in several years. Here's the most encouraging part of all this. Your balance can be trained and improved even if you're in your 70s, 80s, or beyond. The human body is still capable of learning and adapting at any age, and that includes balance skills. You don't need any fancy equipment or expensive classes. All you need is a little bit of floor space, a few minutes of time, and the consistency to practice a little bit each day. Balance training should become as routine and automatic as brushing your teeth every morning. If you're not sure where to start with balance exercises, there are so many free resources available to help you. There are YouTube videos specifically designed for seniors, balance classes at community centers, and even simple exercises your doctor or physical therapist can recommend. You are never too old to improve your stability and coordination. The peace of mind and confidence that comes from knowing you're steady on your feet is absolutely priceless. We don't talk enough about balance until it's too late, and someone has already fallen and been injured. But I want you to stay steady, strong, and completely independent because we still have so much wonderful life left to live and enjoy. If this video has been helpful to you, please like it, subscribe to EverWise Older Women for more practical advice, and tell me in the comments which of these 6 mistakes surprised you the most. I read every single comment, and I love hearing your stories and experiences. Take care of yourself, sweetheart. Your future self will thank you for every positive step you take today.